Welcome. I'm Kathy Cooper Winters, Board Chair of Northwestern Rural Electric Cooperative Association. And I would first of all, before we get started, like to thank everyone for their participation in the Feed 84 Families Food Drive. It was an overwhelming success and we truly appreciate your participation in that. I have been informed that we do have a quorum and can commence with the business of the cooperative. I have instructed our cooperative executive secretary, Ms. Clarissa Schneider, to duly record the minutes of this meeting. If you would, please join me in a moment of silence as your board vice chair, Mrs. Lisa Chaucy from District Number 9, presents the invocation.
Let us pray. Father, as we gather to conduct the business meeting of Northwestern REC, we pause to reflect on your goodness. In a world full of chaos and calamity, you are steadfast. Thank you for bringing us together to accomplish the good of the order. Although our meeting looks different this year, our principles and purpose remain. We are grateful to our member owners for their patience and adaptability so we can continue to conduct our business. Lord, as the events of the day continue to unfold, be with those that are here and those that are joining us virtually. Thank you for each and every person joining us today. In the coming days, give us wisdom and guidance. Only you know what lies ahead. You are a good, good Father. Though our circumstances can be unfair from time to time in this life, you are always our unwavering protector. Lift our eyes to seek you first, Lord, each day, surrendering our need to achieve and accomplish our own will, and shift our perspective to seek your peace above all else. We praise you for today. Let your face shine upon us. In Jesus' name, amen.
The 2020 annual meeting of the Northwestern Rural Electric Cooperative Association will begin with the playing of our national anthem. And now, if you would, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. The next order of business is to have our board secretary, Mr. Mike Sample, read the official meeting notice.
Good morning. Please take note that the regular annual meeting of the members of Northwestern Rural Electric Cooperative Association, Incorporated, will be held at New Beginnings Church of God from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturday, August 22nd, 2020, for the following purposes. 1. To hear and pass upon the reports of officers, directors, and committees. 2. The election of 3 directors to serve the cooperative. Article 4 of the bylaws permits a nominating committee in lieu of district nominating meetings, which was held on May 27, 2020. The following candidates were nominated at the nominating committee meeting or by petition and are presented herewith for your consideration. District 6, Kim Doctor from Cambridge Springs. District 7, David M. Snyder of Centerville. District 8, Marion Davis of Meadville. District 9, Lisa Chauncey of Guys Mills. Third, for the transaction of any business that may properly be brought before the meeting. Authorized by Clarissa Schneider, Executive Secretary. Clarissa Schneider, being first duly sworn, an oath deposed, and says that she is the Executive Secretary of the Northwestern Rural Electric Cooperative Association, Incorporated, hereafter called the Cooperative, that on the 23rd day of June 2020, she caused to be mailed to each member of the cooperative notice of the annual meeting at the address as it appears on the records of the cooperative on June 22, 2020. By depositing such notice, postage prepaid, in the United States mail, and that the above and foregoing is a true and correct copy of said meeting notice mailed as stated above. Approved by Clarissa Schneider, Executive Secretary. At this time, join me in watching your Board Treasurer, Earl Kuhn, as he presents the Treasurer's Report. Earl?
Good day, everyone. I am Earl Kuhn, our Board Treasurer, and I am here to summarize our 2019 year-end audit reports. Kathy Lane is our Co-op's Chief Financial Officer and could answer any questions you might have regarding these reports. Please note that these appeared in our July edition of Pennlines magazine, and I will round these numbers off for efficiency. Let us start with our consolidated balance sheet. So as of December 31st, 2019, our assets showed under property and equipment to have an electric plant in service at cost of $125,475,000. What that really exists of is our distribution plant of $111 million, which is 2,551 miles of line. Our general plant being a little over $6.5 million. Our headquarters, the building back in Cambridge, at $7.5 million, and our transmission plant at about $1 million. Under construction work in progress, it's at $631,000 approximately, which is down about $353,000. That is due to several large rephasing projects in 2019 being closed out. And of course, with our property and equipment being up, our accumulated depreciation stands at $40,223,000, or up about $2 million. So our overall total electric plant after depreciation is at $85,883,000, or up $2 million, $1.98 million. Under other assets and investments, they're virtually unchanged from 2018 and still remain at about $12 million, the largest one being investments in other organizations, which is like CSC, our borrowing agency, Allegheny Electric, which is our power provider, Federated, our insurance, and other co-ops of that nature. Under current assets, of course, our cash is up about $1.3 million. That's simply due to the billing cycles at the end of the year and accounts payable. So it stands at $3,753,000. A couple good things, though, are down. Our trade accounts receivable are down, and our pole attachments, unfortunately, are down. So our total current assets are up about $1 million to $9.22 million. So our net assets total out at $108,629,000, or up $2.97 million. Under our equities and liabilities, we find that our equities show a total of $53,762. Basically, that comes from other equities being up almost $2.5 million, which is the difference of non-patronage margins and the profit or margin coming from capital credit retirements. So that gives our equities up from 2018 of $3,166,000. Long-term debt, virtually unchanged. We're still in debt quite a bit, $46.1 million. Our non-current liabilities unchanged at $778,000. Current liabilities, that is a great thing, virtually unchanged, only $90,000. So our overall equities and liabilities stand at $108,629,000, or up $2.97 million. Under our comprehensive income statement, revenues and expenses, with operating revenues, our electric energy revenue for the year was down about $832,000. That's pretty much standard. 2018 was a record year for co-ops across the United States. So we had a record year back then, last year. So it's understandable to be down a little. Our miscellaneous revenue, fortunately, is up a little, about $87,000. And that's contributed to contribution in aid of construction, make-ready work, collectibles, and receivables. So our overall operating revenues ended up down from 2018 to $34,054,000, or $740,000 down. On the good side of that, operating expenses, our cost of power was down about $710,000 due to favorable rates from Allegheny Electric. They had cut their rates to us, so it worked out good. The only bad thing on the operating expenses is our distribution maintenance was up, and basically that came from 3 outages, February, June, and August, that had over $100,000 each in outages, or it was $350,000 more. So our total operating expenses were down $1,046,000. So if you remember, our revenues were down $709,000, but our operating expenses down $1 million. We in essence gained operating margins of $307,000 in 2019. So our fixed charges virtually unchanged. Our operating margins, even our non-operating margins, were up slightly, just slightly, $182,000. So our comprehensive income statement shows an increase of $478,000, or up to $3,642,000. This concludes my report. Thank you, and if you have any questions, please call Kathy Lane at the co-op. Have a great day.
Thank you, Earl. The next order of business is the board chair's address. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us live on Facebook or YouTube, or the idea of being able to view us on a device at a later date. This is the 84th annual meeting of the Northwestern Rural Electric Cooperative Association. As you may remember, several changes were made to the annual meeting last year. The change of the date from the first Saturday in August to the first Saturday of the day of the Crawford County Fair. The change of where the meeting was held from the Home Show building to the location just northeast on the fairgrounds. The change of the KFC dinner to the $25 coupon books to use at vendors on the fairgrounds. But one of the biggest changes last year was the addition of several different voting options. That would be through Smart Hub, the computer, or by mail. This year, however, we have more changes that became necessary. Beginning in March, the board and management watched along with the rest of the world as the events of the days began to unfold. It became obvious, due to the safety concerns for the membership and for the employees related to the COVID-19 pandemic, that the way the annual meeting was being conducted needed to be changed. Because of the foresight of the past boards of directors, the tools were available for the present board to work with management to have this year's annual meeting at a safe manner and yet compliant with the bylaws. Consequently, the 84th annual meeting is being brought to you as a virtual annual meeting. So again, thank you for joining us. Today is about the co-op way of doing business, the one thing that has not changed. Every year, I speak of that group of 91 directors from the 13 original units who in 1936 had a vision, and that vision was that electricity could be here in the country, not just in the city. And it's an excellent reminder of what can happen when rural communities work together for the common good. That program made a difference, and it made a difference in our rural areas and the lives of those folks that were living there, and so happened to be a government program. The rural electric program was about doing what was right and doing it for the best interest of the public. Today, Northwestern REC still works to provide quality service, fair-priced electricity, and consumer-related services to the benefit of the members and the consumers. The cooperative of which you are a member is made up of about 20,040 service locations, 2,544 miles of line in Crawford, Erie, Mercer, Venango, and Warren counties, and about 73 meters in Ashtabula County, Ohio. The co-op territory itself is divided up into 10 districts. There is one individual representing each district on our board of directors. I always like to take the time to introduce you to your board of directors because this is a major difference between Northwestern and the investor-owned utility. The individuals who represent you on the board of directors are your neighbors. And just like that original group of 91 directors, they are members of the cooperative also. Commitment to their community, one of the cooperative principles. As you know, I'm Kathy Cooper Winters, board chair, and I represent District Number 5. My husband Bill and I are from the Sagertown area, and I have been a board member for 32 years. I am also Northwestern's representative on our generation and transmission cooperative, Allegheny Electric Cooperative, in Harrisburg. And I am a member of the board of the National Cooperative Services Corporation, which is a subsidiary of our lending institution, CFC, and that is headquartered in Dulles, Virginia. District number 10, Mr. Lanny Rogers. Lanny and his wife are from the Cochranton area. He has been a board member for 20 years. Lanny recently completed his 12-year term as the Pennsylvania representative to our national organization, the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association in Washington, D.C. District number 10 is Mrs. Lisa Chaucy. Lisa, her husband Mike, and family are from the Guys Mills area. Lisa has been a board member for 3 years. Lisa also serves as our board vice chair. District number 8 is represented by Mrs. Marion Davis. Marion and her family are from the Meadville area. And Marion also has been a board member for 3 years. District number 6 is represented by Ms. Kim Doctor. Kim and her family are from the Cambridge Springs area, and she has been a board member for 13 years. District number 4 is represented by Mr. Robert Agnew. Mr. Agnew and his wife Jean are from the Conneautville area, And Robert has been a board member for 31 years. District number 3 is represented by Mr. Mike Sample. Mike and his wife Debbie and family are from the Corey area, and he has been a board member for 5 years. Mike serves as our board secretary. District number 2 is represented by Mr. Earl Kuhn. Earl and his wife Teresa are from the Edinburgh area, and he has been a member for 10 years. Earl serves as the board treasurer, and he also serves as Northwestern's representative to the Pennsylvania Rural Electric Association, or statewide in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. District number 1 is represented by Mr. Carl Ebert. Carl and his wife Sally are from the Cranesville area. Carl is completing his 2nd year as a board member. District number 7 has been represented by Mr. Dave Rechtenwald for the last 15 years. He and his wife Amy are from the Titusville area. This year, Mr. Rechtenwald decided to retire. During his tenure on the board, Dave quickly achieved his credentialed cooperative director status and board leadership certificate, as well as achieving the Director Gold credential. He has served as board secretary for 2 years and has been the board vice chair for the last 9 years. Because of his gentle nature and quiet support in the decision-making process, Dave has been a very valuable part of the Northwestern board. Dave's only agenda was to do what was best for the co-op and its members. His knowledge and humor will be missed. Thank you, Mr. Rechtenwald, for your loyalty and dedication to the members of Northwestern Rural Electric. We wish you and your family the very best in your next adventure. As you all know, electric cooperatives are not-for-profit energy providers that are owned by the members that they serve, and cooperatives provide coverage for about 75% of our nation's landmass. And just like Northwestern REC, these co-ops are all part of the foundation of their communities. And all of us together, all 42 million consumer members, to be exact, have a very strong voice in an election on issues that matter the most to us. We are a very diverse and vast group of Americans that reach into almost every district and every state. In the past, I have spoke to you about the nonpartisan voter engagement program called Co-ops Vote. This initiative has 3 goals. One is to increase rural voter registration and turnout. Also, to educate co-op members, consumer members on key issues, and to elevate the influence of rural Americans in the outcome of this election. Northwestern REC and the Pennsylvania Rural Electric Association, or PREA, are joining cooperatives across the country in this campaign to help get out the vote in rural communities. Co-ops Vote will not endorse or recommend candidates. However, it will educate members on candidates' stances on issues of importance to cooperatives. By participating in the Co-ops Vote program and taking the pledge to make electric co-op issues a priority in November, you are sending a resounding message to candidates to put your concerns front and center in order to earn our vote. With millions of electric co-op members speaking out with one voice, we are already having a major impact on making our top issues part of the national conversation. I encourage everyone, regardless of your political beliefs, to join America's electric cooperatives in this national effort. Let's stand up for the priorities of the national rural electric cooperative community in the lead up to November 3rd. Also, please be on the lookout for the October Penlines magazine. Every October before the elections, the Pennsylvania Rural Electric Association reviews the candidates for the congressional, senatorial, and the Pennsylvania legislature. And those individuals who have had a very good, strong record in support of the rural electric program and the members in our rural areas are highlighted for you, the voter, to gather more information. Just like those original individuals who celebrated the first poll set on the first REA-sponsored line in the state, we can work together to make a difference in our communities. Each year, your board of directors looks at the financial viability of the cooperative to decide if retiring capital credits is prudent. I would like to announce that the cooperative will again be retiring about $444,604 in capital credits. You should be receiving a check sometime after the first of the year. This is another difference between your cooperative and an investor-owned utility, a co-op principle of economic participation. It is obvious these are challenging, frightening, and some unsettling times. However, as an essential and critical business, it's quite obvious how important the co-op's business continuity is to the community in which we all live. Since the anticipation of the H1N1 swine flu epidemic several years ago, the co-op management and board decided to prepare a pandemic work plan. Along with the many improvements in technology and system upgrades, the plan continued to be revised and modified. However, it wasn't until recently that this plan was put into place and refined for today's situation. The actions and responses are now a part of everyday work. At a virtual board meeting, CEO Bill Buchanan spoke to the board about the updated pandemic plan, and he informed us of the different actions the co-op was taking to work through the present situation. We heard about the folks that are working at home, those working in the office, and those working directly in the field. And in times like these, it is always an opportunity to watch people rise to the occasion and accept the challenges before them. And that is what I have seen from all the employees at Northwestern REC. Business as usual is not business as usual, at least as far as the physical building goes. However, through the eyes of a member, the business does not seem to be much different than it was a few months ago. So on behalf of the Board of Directors, I want to express my most sincere thanks for every employee's dedication and commitment to the membership during these unprecedented times. We all will continue to watch as the events of the days unfold and look to see what the newest challenges are presenting themselves to our community and our daily lives. It is important to move forward, to be engaged in the voting process, and to be safe. And as Mr. Buchanan stated in his July pen lines, we are all in this together. And as always, we at Northwestern REC are here for you. I want to thank you for taking time to attend your cooperative's virtual annual meeting, because together we are the foundation of our communities. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce to you your President and CEO, Mr. Bill Buchanan. Bill comes from a telephone cooperative in Colchester, Illinois, and has over 29 years of experience as a CEO. Prior to his service in cooperative leadership roles, Bill spent much of his early career as a technician, constructing, installing, and maintaining both telecom and cable television networks. This experience helped him to serve as president and board member of both the Illinois and Colorado Rural Telecommunications Associations, as well as the Western Telecommunications Alliance, serving on the transition committee during the merger of the two regional associations. Bill also coached and mentored youth through the Creating Entrepreneurial Opportunities program and is active in church. He enjoys traveling, outdoor activities, including scuba diving. He holds a certification as an open water scuba instructor for the Professional Association of Dive Instructors. Mr. Buchanan is a graduate of Western Illinois University and the University of Missouri's Graduate Institute for Cooperative Leadership, and he holds Stanford University's Professional Certification in Energy Innovation. Bill and his wife Mallory live in Meadville and have two sons, Tyler and Tanner. It's with great pleasure I introduce to you your President and CEO, Mr. Bill Buchanan. Go ahead.
Thank you, Kathy, and good morning, everyone. I would like to thank the Board of Directors for allowing me the opportunity to serve the membership in this capacity, and thank employees for their patience as I have worked through a few learning curves in this past 18 months. The past 18 months have been fun and challenging. I've spent this time learning about Northwestern's processes and procedures, understanding the electric industry, and learning about issues that can impact us at the national and state levels. Locally, I have spent time learning about areas we serve. At the beginning of the year, I had the opportunity to hand-deliver capital credit checks to a number of our local area businesses, which gave me a chance to talk with them and understand their power needs. I believe it's important to explore innovative solutions to support our membership and promote our improved quality of life mission. For example, large-scale solar, battery technology, broadband, electric vehicles, and charging stations. As we continue to promote energy efficiency and cost savings programs for our members, we also work to identify new electric loads that will help generate future revenues for our cooperative. Electric vehicles continue to gain market share and popularity. So one of our recent programs offers a $150 rebate for level 2 chargers installed in the home, similar to appliance rebates offered in the past. Northwestern installed the first charge point charging station in Crawford County, and we see continued growth in its usage. As the electric vehicle industry continues to evolve, we want to make sure we are your local experts in all things electric vehicle. Please don't hesitate to call our office with any questions you may have. At Northwestern, just like everywhere else, things changed overnight. With the COVID pandemic, we had to consider a number of questions. How can we adjust our work environment to keep our team healthy, ensuring we can continue to provide service to you? How is COVID impacting our members, our local businesses? How will COVID impact our own operating revenues? How long will it last? We are still asking questions and adjusting our processes to ensure we are here for our members. We continue to follow the CDC, Health Department, and Governor's Office recommendations to operate remotely where we can. As our chairman, Kathy Cooper-Winter, stated, due to past investments in our information technology, we have the ability to remotely serve our members in a nearly seamless way. The office remains closed to the public and will most likely stay that way for some time. So if we seem a little distant, please remember, as an essential service provider, we are working to keep our employees healthy and safe and able to serve all of you. Just like you, we're looking forward to COVID becoming a thing of the past and life getting back to normal. COVID has forced changes for everyone, and the Board of Directors is no exception. Traditionally, we meet monthly with the board in person to discuss the business of the cooperative. Since the start of COVID, board members have become 100% remote, and our board meetings have also become 100% remote. I meet regularly on Zoom with a number of CEOs from other cooperatives around the country to discuss challenges facing each cooperative. Coming from rural telecom and broadband world, I would take for granted, and I assumed that all cooperatives had the same technology and broadband infrastructure in place, allowing them to function in a remote work environment similar to how we are here at Northwestern. As I heard stories from around the country, I realized that wasn't the case. There are many cooperatives, and even a number of areas within our own cooperative, that don't allow the ability to work remotely or allow students to do online studies because of a lack of unreliable internet. Our statewide association, PREA, has recently proposed legislation in the House and Senate that will help facilitate easier expansion of broadband in rural areas. The legislation would allow electric cooperatives to build fiber optic facilities on their own poles without getting additional easements to install that fiber cable. Similar legislation has been passed in other states over the past few years. Currently, about 1/3 of the cooperatives in Pennsylvania are exploring the possibility of providing a fiber-based broadband internet service to their members, and it is likely more will follow the business model in coming years. Northwestern is one of those co-ops, and though it's too early to tell if broadband is a fit for us, we are evaluating the need. We will keep you informed through the pen lines and our website and on social media. Now to the numbers. As I mentioned last year, one of my favorite tools to communicate the operating cost of the membership is the use of the dollar chart to break down the cost and show you how your dollar is spent. In your annual meeting notice, you will see a chart explaining the percentage of those operating costs. The majority of the costs, 42%, is used to purchase power we deliver to our members' homes and businesses. The next largest portion of the cost is the operations and maintenance expense at 13%, administrative and general expense at 11%, and consumer expense at 6%. In total, these operational expenses make up 30% of the dollar. 11% of the dollar goes to cover depreciation expense on our assets such as wire, transformers, poles, and other capital equipment. The interest on long-term debt service comes in at 6%, and the sales expense at approximately 1%. The remaining 10% of the dollar makes up our net margins, which become capital credits and help provide a source of equity until retired and refunded to our members. For a number of years now, you have heard about the technology investments we have made to increase reliability on the system. We continue to make these investments and improve on that reliability. In many cases, although you may see a brief blink, your power, it recovers quickly and the lights stay on. The technology assists greatly with that reliability, but unfortunately there are always going to be power outages. In 2019, trees remain the lead culprit for outages with approximately 54% of the total. The remaining 46% was attributable to power supply, equipment, snow and ice, animals, etc. That being said, our ability to reroute power and the investment we make in our ongoing right-of-way maintenance offers contribute a great deal to helping us avert nearly 5,650,000 outage minutes in the past year. These numbers are a great testament to the efforts of our cooperative employees. They're a wonderful group of people and work hard to serve our members. I appreciate them and I thank them for their hard work and dedication. I look forward to serving you this next year and hope to see you in person at our 2021 membership meetings and our next year's annual meeting. Take care and stay healthy.
This concludes our pre-recorded portion of the annual meeting. The remainder of the 2020 annual meeting is coming to you live from New Beginnings Church of God in Meadville. Please join us now for our live event.